Hi, this is Eric. I want to give you a quick overview of what I'm bringing out on the trail starting in the desert section. I will be putting links down in the description to my lighter pack, which is basically an inventory of everything I'm bringing for all of the sections for the desert, the Sierras, and Northern California to Washington. They may change, but they're what I'm kind of anticipating that I'll be using as I go along. The first item in my big four is the pack itself. I actually have a Z-Pax Arc Haul. It's made of Dyneema. I guess that also goes by Cuban fiber or DCF. So it's an ultra light, ultra strong material. I've added on the side pouches here and also the hip belts right here to store stuff for easy access. On the front, I have this water bottle holder. You can see this blue thing right here. I can actually take one of these smart water bottles. I use the smaller one, the 0.7 liter bottle, to put on the front so I can have some easy access to water. Inside the pack, I use this dry bag. So this is also the same material, the Dyneema fabric, so it's ultra lightweight and strong, but this is waterproof. So this will actually go inside the pack here so that whatever I put in here will stay dry. This will resist water quite a bit, but if you get enough rain on it or enough snow, it will actually penetrate the pack and could possibly get things wet in there. And I don't want my quilt or clothing to get wet because then it won't be any good for being warm. To augment that, I have a rain cover. It's a very lightweight Dyneema fabric, so this is super lightweight, and that will go on the outside of the pack. So between this, and this, things should stay dry, hopefully, as long as I pack things appropriately. The second item in my big four is my Z-Pax duplex tent. This is a thicker grade of the Dyneema used on these items over here. And it actually uses my trekking poles. I got my Black Diamond trekking poles over here that I'll be using. Those actually are the front and rear posts for this tent. So you save some weight by reusing gear that you're already bringing. There are guidelines for this, and I have some titanium spikes that will be used for that inside this pack. The third item in my big four is my Enlightened Equipment quilt. And I also put in there my down hoodie. So I've got a down quilt here. I chose the quilt instead of a sleeping bag because it's a little bit lighter. I tend to sleep hotter, and I can always attach the quilt to my sleeping pad. It's got some elastic straps that go underneath the sleeping pad to make sure that you keep warm. This actually acts as the back. On most sleeping bags, they're enclosed, but you lose some of the warmth of the loft because you lay on the sleeping bag itself, and you need loft. You need that air gap in the down in order to get warm. So on the back, it's really your sleeping pad that gives you most of your warmth. So I think this will work out really well. I've tested this gear in 32-degree weather, and I stayed warm in it, so that works out pretty well. The fourth item in my big four is my sleeping pad. This is a Thermarest Neo Air Extra Light. I had to go with the long version versus the short. I was going to use the short version and then just put my legs on my pack to provide some insulation from the ground, and that works fine, but the short version is not wide enough. I have very wide shoulders, so what I found on my 32-degree night was my arms were hanging off the pad and onto the ground, which was very cold and very uncomfortable. So I needed to switch to the long to actually get a wider sleeping pad. So it's a little extra weight, but that will sleep me a lot more comfortably than the short version did. To go with that, I have this Sea to Summit pillow. Some call it a luxury item, but for me it's kind of a necessity because I can't have my head too far down. I need to prop it up because that'll feel better on my neck. If I have my head too far back, I could start getting the numbness and tingling in my arm again, which is not something I want to have happen. This is my water filtration system. I have a Sawyer Micro here. It's the updated version of the Sawyer Squeeze. It has the same flow rate and the same life expectancy as the regular Sawyer Squeeze, but it's an ounce lighter. So it's really nice. I've been using it and I really like that. I also have a dirty bag here, a Ceenoc dirty bag. The reason I have that, some people actually take the Sawyer Squeeze or Sawyer Micro, and you can see the threads here are the same size as these water bottles. I'll be using smart water bottles out on the trail. You can actually thread that right onto the bottle. So if you want, you can dip the water bottle and collect your dirty water in that, and then attach this to the top and just drink straight out of it. So you filter as you drink. And I've tried that, but it's probably just my head, but I don't like it. When you're drinking, if you've got dirty water here, you can see the mud and the things floating and everything else in there. So your eyes see dirty water that you're drinking, and it's just not satisfying to me. I'd rather have the clean water and treat my bottles as clean water bottles versus dirty water bottles. So I'll have this Ceenoc dirty water bag that I use to collect my dirty water, and then just attach it to the filter, and then filter the clean water into these water bottles and so I can just drink straight out of those. For my warm clothing, I have a Columbia shirt. It's got sunblock in it, and it's lightweight and quick drying. I also have some REI pants that I've been using for years. They really hold up well, so I plan on bringing those. And a belt that I can cinch down as I lose weight. I have some darn tough socks. I've got one that I'll wear and then one that I can swap to as a replacement, and, swap back and forth, or maybe clean those off and then have a pair that's I can keep swapping in and out on. The underwear I'm using is Ex Officio. It is a odor resistant, quick drying, really durable set of underwear. I really like those. I'm using the Ultra Superior 3.5 Trail Runners. I choose to use these over boots. Boots are too heavy for this kind of adventure, and these will work just fine. It's typically what people use on through hikes. It's a lot nicer on your body not to carry that extra weight. I'll probably have to replace these with 4.0s at some point because the 3.5s look like they're being discontinued. I have a pair of wraparound glasses. These will be used for the Sierras, and I'm planning on bringing them to the desert section as well, so that when I get the ambient lighting from snow or just lots of sun in the desert, I will be able to actually see versus being snow blinded. I'm bringing a set of camp shoes. I really went back and forth over whether I wanted to bring camp shoes, and I didn't know if I wanted to have the extra weight because I could always wear my trail runners, but I thought it might be nice, especially if my trail runners were wet at night, to be able to switch into something that was dry. So I found these. These are the lightest weight sandals I could find. Even for my huge size 13s, they're only 8.9 ounces. So they're really lightweight, really durable sandals. So I'm going to try these out. I can't say I'll keep them forever, but I'm going to try them out, and I think they'll be really handy while my shoes are drying, and if I need to go get water or go to the bathroom or something, I can put these on, and that'll make it really easy. For my sleep system, I have a Smart Wool top and some bottoms, which I'll switch into at night. These are the Smart Wool 150 that I'll start out with in the desert. When I get to the Sierras, I anticipate it to be colder at night, so I'll swap these out for the Smart Wool 250. They're heavier, but they're also warmer. I also have a pair of darn tough higher socks. These are boot socks, but they'll go up higher and keep me warmer. So I can wear those at night if I need to, if it's cold for my feet. I've got a Mountain Hardwear puffy, or down jacket, as it's also known. For my rain gear and also for wind protection, I will have these Arc'teryx jacket and pants. I plan on using for like when I'm in town and I need to wash some clothes, if I need to go to a laundromat or something and I need to wash any of my clothes here, I need something to wear when I've got those off. So my plan was to try wearing my rain pants and then my puffy, and I could just wear that while I was cleaning everything out. I have a pair of sun gloves. Outdoor Research sun gloves. These are really handy for keeping your hands from burning, and I actually like wearing them when it gets a little bit cooler. While your fingertips are exposed, it actually can keep the bulk of my hand pretty warm at night when I need it. Not if it's too cold, because your fingertips will get really cold, but they work pretty well, and I really like these for the sun protection. I have for warmer or for rain and snow, I have these gloves. They actually are Outdoor Research Versaliners, and in the back, I don't know if you can see, there's a zipper on here, and there's a pouch on each one in the back of the hand. You can put these on as is, just for warmth, but if you want some extra warmth, or if you want rain protection, you unzip this and there's a shell that you can actually slide over the top of those that gives water protection. And it actually provides a little bit more warmth. Yeah, and I really like those. I have a ball cap. It's an ex officio ball cap. It actually has a shroud that comes down in the back of the neck so that if I have sun at the back of me, I can drop that thing down and have some more neck protection other than just what I have with my sunscreen. And for additional sun protection, I'm bringing this ultralight sun umbrella. You can see it's silver coated so that it does a good job of reflecting the sunlight. This could be really useful for the large open segments of the desert that don't have any kind of tree cover. So if it gets really hot and you want to stop and take a rest or something, you can have this open, or just have it open when you're walking along and give you some respite from the sun. I have my buff right here. This is basically some cloth that you can put over your head. It has a couple uses. You can use it for kind of a headband for if you're sweating, and it can also be used to put down over your ears to keep your head warm, so kind of like the role a beanie would serve. And super important, I have a bug net. So if there are any kind of mosquitoes or other nasties that come along, you can put this bug net over your head and it will keep you safe. And I've already tested this with my shirt and pants against mosquitoes, and it works pretty well. One thing I didn't mention is that I will be treating my shirt and pants and socks with permethrin, which is an anti-bug. It keeps away the mosquitoes and everything, and I've tested that out and it works pretty well. So I'm going to use that instead of bringing along something like DEET, which is harmful to plastic, and I'd just rather not put all those chemicals on if I can help it. For my electronics, I have the iPhone that I'm recording this on, so you can't see that. But I also have a Joby GorillaPod right here with an attachment that you can put the cell phone on. And the Joby GorillaPod you can actually attach to things like a fence post or a tree or something like that. So that's kind of flexible on there. I also have a remote shutter. So if I want to take a picture or something, I can set it up on the tripod and actually activate the picture with this remote shutter. It's a Bluetooth remote shutter. I have my black diamond headlamp. That's super useful for at night or night hiking or just seeing around. And I have various cables here. Of course, my iPhone headphones, and I have a mic here that I'm going to try out and see if it gets too windy. This should help alleviate some of the wind noise. I haven't tested that out as much as I'd like. We'll see how well that one works. I'm sure I'll get the opportunity to test it. And of course, chargers for my iPhone. I also have a Garmin. So this is a Garmin GPS unit. This will be a nice backup for my mapping that I have on my iPhone. In case I needed it, I could have this as a backup mapping unit. But it also has 100% global coverage with their Iridium network for satellite texting. So I'll be able to reach out to my support group, or if I need help, there's an emergency button on the side of this where I can actually press the emergency button and say, hey, I need help, and they could send someone to come help rescue me if there were a problem. I plan on attaching this to myself, like on my belt, if I have to do some kind of dangerous river crossing or something like that, and I might lose my pack. I'll have this with me so that I can still communicate. To charge all of this, I have an Anker 20,000 milliamp hour charger, and I have a quick charge, 30 watt quick charge here. So it should be able to charge this whole thing in about 4 hours, which is useful when you're in town and you need to do a quick charge. I also have a stylus. I got this little stylus, which is a fine point tip stylus, and it helps for when I'm doing fine work like video editing on my iPhone. fingers can be a little too big for doing some of the fine work with the video editing software that's on there. For my med and repair kit, I've got another Dyneema DCF Cuban fiber cloth bag, so very lightweight, and I have my repair kit and my other things in there. So I have a set of latex gloves. I can't help but bring one after having gone through wilderness first aid training because I needed to help someone else out. Got some zinc oxide in case you get some trail rash. Some earplugs. Those can be really useful if you're on a windy night and your tent's blowing hard and you don't want to have to listen to that and you can't sleep. You can put those in. Some Leukotape, which you can apply over blisters and other things. So this is kind of the one-size-fits-all, repair them all on the trail. Of course, my medications, ibuprofen, an antidiarrheal, and an antihistamine in case I had some kind of reaction or cold or something like that. Got some bandages. I got a sterile pad that I can use with the Leukotape. I can cut that up and make a bandage, and I've got a little bandage here that I don't know if I'll need, but it's for blisters. Right here I have some antibacterial ointment. It's kind of like a Neosporin, just not the same brand. Here I have a pair of scissors that I can use for cutting different things. I have a set of tweezers and a set of nail clippers to keep the nails trimmed. I have one here for the desert, but I might add in more when I get to the Sierras. Just a hand warmer in case there's a really unduly cold night and I want to add just a little extra warmth to either my foot box in my quilt or just under my quilt. I could use this hand warmer right here. There are actually two of them in here in this one little pack. And then finally I have my repair kit. I have some duct tape that I can use for repairs, and then repairs for Dyneema, which will actually work on any of these Dyneema items here, the dry sack there, or my tent, or my food bag, or this little bag right here. I can repair all of that in there. And I also have repairs for my Thermarest sleeping pad in there. For holding my food, I will have this bear bag that I can hang up. I've got actually a rucksack and line here that I can use to hang my bear bag with. I took the lock sack that you get from Ursacks. Ursacks are a type of bag that are supposedly bear proof and they can't rip through them. Well, I didn't want to use one of those. I like this lighter weight bag here, but I did like the odor resistant lock sack that comes inside of one of those. So this supposedly keeps a majority of the smells out so that when I hang something like this, hopefully it'll attract less attention. Here I have my Toiletries jar. This is what I'm going to be using for cold soaking. Originally I thought I might bring a stove on the trail and do some cooking to rehydrate, but more and more I decided I didn't want to do that. One, for the weight, and two, just for the convenience. So I'm planning on cold soaking. And cold soaking just means that you add your stuff like mashed potatoes or top ramen or couscous or whatever you add to it. You add water and you just wait longer. So the rehydration doesn't happen with hot water, it happens with cold water. So I'm going to try this out. I do have a stove system so that if I decide later, I really want some hot food, like in the Sierras, I could always swap that system in. Here is my sit pad. So this is pretty lightweight, but very useful for when you're sitting somewhere, sitting on rocks or something. You can put this lightweight sit pad down and it's a lot more comfortable. So I don't go anywhere without this thing. I have some really lightweight little towels here. I ended up adding two of them in instead of one, just so that I could use them for different things, or while one was wet and drying, you can hang these off the back of your pack. I can use these for a quick sponge to clean myself with or to dry off. I can use it to wipe out my Toiletries jar, anything like that. So they're lightweight, they're quick drying, you can hang them off the back of your pack. This gear right here, I don't plan on having from the outset. This is my ice axe, and these are my micro spikes that I use for when there's snow or ice. I will be bringing these in when I go near Mount San Jacinto, because there's going to be snow. There's basically a mountain in the desert, and you go up out of the desert into the trees and snow. So this will be mandatory to bring there. and then once I'm done with that, I can ship them away. These will be brought in the Sierras, and I'll have them the entire time when I'm throughout the Sierras because there'll be a lot more snow and ice there. For my toilet system, I have, of course, some bags. You gotta, whatever you pack in, you gotta pack out. So any toilet paper that you have, you gotta pack it back out. So either don't use toilet paper, and I'm not gonna play Russian roulette with the leaves there, so I'll be using toilet paper, but you've got to pack that out. And I also have a trowel to dig your cat hole with, and at the recommendation of another thru-hiker I met, I have like a water bottle for, you know, cleanup and things like that. So I don't know how that's going to work. That might be the ultimate in luxury or a spectacular mess. I'll find out. We'll see if it ends up in my pack or in the trash. For my toiletries, I have, of course, hand sanitizer. This has a little loop that I can attach to the back of my pack, and that is really useful for, you know, after you've used the toilet system or after you've used a public bathroom or something, you know, use that hand sanitizer and make sure your hands are clean, because those are the same ones you're going to be using to eat and everything else. I have a little cloth right here that I can use for cleaning. This actually will be good for scrubbing my Talenti jar. I have some bathing wipes. This is one way to clean up at the end of the day. If you don't have a shower or something, you can do a quick little wipe down and at least clean some of the salt and mud and everything else off of you, and have a little bit cleaner layer to go to bed with. Of course, a floss, toothbrush, and toothpaste, so that you have all three on there. I have some little strips here. This is my soap and some laundry wash. I really needed some soap for my hands. The laundry wash, I'll see how well that works, but the soap really works well for my hands. I've tried to borrow soap and that didn't work really well. This has the perfect amount of soap. They're actually little strips, almost like those strips you get from the breath freshener type strips that you put on your tongue and they dissolve. It's the same type of thing. You can peel one of those out, add water, and then it makes a little bit of suds on there. That's important for me because I want to keep my hands clean. I'm going to be wearing contact lenses on the trail, and before I actually handle my contact lenses, I want to make sure that I wash my hands and get those clean before dealing with that. Have some Body Glide. This can be useful if you're getting some kind of friction or something on the trail. You can apply this. Hopefully that won't be a thing, but I'm going to bring it because I've had that issue before. And of course, a little bit of hand lotion, Q-tips, and lip balm. Got to have that. I'm bringing a brush just to brush garbage out of my hair and everything. This is probably a luxury item, and I'm sure someone will say, you don't really need that. I did clip the handle off to make it a little bit lighter weight. And I have a mirror. The mirror here is mostly for dealing with my eye stuff, so putting contact lenses in or seeing if there's something in my eye, that type of thing. So just to be able to see that works a little bit better. You could use it for signaling, but I don't really think that's what's going to be used for. And of course, sunscreen. Gotta have that, so I'll be using a lot of that, especially in the desert section. And then this is a large storage bag. I'm going to use that kind of as a wash basin, so I can put some water in that and then do my hand washing with my body wash, or put some laundry in there and wash that off with the laundry little strips right there. Since I have bad eyes, I need to bring something along to correct that vision on the trail, so I've got some extra weight. I have daily wear contact lenses, so I've actually put my vision gear in these crystal light tubes. They're really lightweight, they're very strong, and so I can put them in my pack and nothing will get damaged. These contact lenses packs are kind of fragile, so I can put those in there and bring along, at least 20 days worth of contact lenses out there. That's why I need that mirror. And then of course some solution, just if you need to rinse the contact lenses off, and some eye drops, which can be very helpful. I have a pair of glasses that I can wear at night when I take my contact lenses out, or if I can't wear contact lenses for whatever reason, then I'll need to just wear the glasses on there. And then a little lightweight cleaning cloth for my glasses and also my iPhone device. Well, that's pretty much it. I will see you out on the trail.